Good morning, everyone. Let's take a look-see what's happening. All right, there we go. We're live. All right, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Morning. So, for those who were here yesterday, I've explained the zone of interest of mine, which was here. We were somewhere here when it was trading still. 1 hour. So yesterday, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock. So from 9 to 10, the price action was here. I was telling you that I'm going to be patient enough for the retest of this previous resistance turn now support, and which coincides with my sweet spot of the fib zone, between 618 and 786. Went a little deeper than expected. I was at the gym when I saw this pin bar form at noon, and subsequently when we took out the high, I went long, as I've been explaining to you ad nauseum, why these fibs, why the breakout retest continuation pattern, and that's what I did. We did this, so I posted this on, that I'm, let's see, where did I post it? Yeah, at 1:10 I posted that I'm long gold, so 1 o'clock. 1:10 I was long gold here, and my signals chat for legacy accounts. Let's see. Yeah, it was even sooner. Yeah, 1:10 I said buy gold 3:30. Since I was driving from the gym, couldn't post the stop loss. This is the trade. I bought some euro also as well, and then I took half profits and break evens before I went to bed at, as you can see, at 1:35 a.m. New York time. So 1:35. So around here, I saw it peter out around 40 level, around here. I closed it, went a little higher, and then reversed. I didn't close it. I took half off and did a break even. So sorry, I was yeah. So at 1 a.m. it was here. Or was 1 a.m. Right here. 1 a.m. around 1 to 2. I posted that I'm taking profit at 40. Half off, and then stop at break even because I couldn't babysit the trade anymore. So if I'm going to sleep, and then it's prior to London Open, anything can happen. So I wanted to secure at least some profit and sleep tight without knowing that I can wake up with a spike down and being stopped out when I was in profit. So it's better to secure your profit. This is how you manage a trade. So if you cannot monitor it actively, set up controls in place where you can manage this trade will be managed without you. And when you sleep, obviously, if you're in a profitable trade, you can either put your stops at break even, you can take some off the table and put your stops at break even, or tighten your stop loss, whatever. In this case, I knew that this we produced a bounce from the fib zone, from a 786 in this case. Obviously, we were selling off. A nice pin bar reversal fucking candle, never took out the low again, right? So I went with the I like wide stops, so I went with this low as a stop loss, but you can easily put it as equally, not equally, but this is a valid stop loss as well. Okay, so anyway, we went long, and this is the anatomy of trade. So this is what we're discussing. I went long, took half off. Usually it bounces from 2 fibs up, so from 786, 618, 50, exactly to the 50. Again, all these fibs, you can see that they play roles because it produces bounces every single motherfucking time. You just need to capture those bounces. If you know how to draw fibs, if you understand what the fuck is happening, yada, 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 and this is what I'm trying to teach you. So, yeah, so now I have both euro and euros. I took euro profit here as well at 1 o'clock. Nothing serious. So this one, euro is done. So the second half got stepped out of break even. So at least I made money on a half of the trade. It didn't reach all the way to the TP. Now I can reevaluate this situation. Okay, so same thing with gold. Gold is still alive. We almost got stepped out. The low here was 31, 30.98, whatever, 31. So the entry obviously was 30, 30, 30. So I'm still, and even if it stops out, I don't really care. It did its job. I know that the fib trade worked out. I secured enough profit for it to just move the fuck on instead of just giving everything back. And this is why you need to manage. This is why you actively manage trades. I prefer active management trades. Some people just make it or break it trades. Again, how do you know whether you should actively manage trades versus inactively? Number one, it's how many years of experience you have under your belt, right? I can actively manage because I can hold the trade and only start closing it when I see that it's running out of oomph, you know? And at 1 a.m., when it was already here, I saw that it's basically it's running out of steam with these candles, and the London Open is coming. So I thought I'm going to sleep. I don't know what's gonna happen, so it's best to close, at least take some profit off the table, and secure the stop loss to break even. So it's a free trade. You no longer can lose money. There's nothing at risk, right? Only making you've already made money, or you can make more money. Okay. So right now, if it stops out, it stops out. And what would happen if it stops out? Okay. Then we're gonna find another area of interest of what to do. And by the way, can it do another leg down? Absolutely. Why? Well, again, breakout, retest, continuation. This is the move, right? Lower high, lower high. We minted lower low on an hourly basis, right? We retest this breakdown point coinciding with 50% retracement, and we can easily go further down, okay? And this is why it's important. Even though this was a bearish move, I made money in a bullish mode, okay? And that's why both bulls and bears can make money. You just fuck if you trade at proper levels. So if somebody might be short right now because they saw that this is making lower low, lower highs, and they're short now with stops above here. But since I was already long and I took some off the table, I'm keeping the break-even point as a make it or break it type of deal. If I get stopped out, I might reevaluate and start looking to be short to the next levels. And what are the next levels? Let's see. Hold on a second. Turn on my questionnaire. Okay, so overnight holding. Yeah, somebody's asking about overnight holding. That's exactly what you do. If it's if you need to just either, well, you can babysit it, or you like I said, you want to take some profit off the table because, again, it's a new day, new London Open, new day, and you don't know what's going to happen, what kind of flow you're going to get. Because orders, once the London opens, you're going to have an order flow, right? Hit the market, hit the tape. And when that happens, the flow can go either way. Me and you and nobody else, well, maybe aside from Rothschilds and a few Federal Reserve bankers, know what the fuck is going to go down, right? Or BlackRock. But unless you are a high-level executive at BlackRock, or you happen to be, your last name happens to be Rothschild, I don't think you're going to know what the fuck is going to happen because you don't simply have the size, and nobody has these, no individual bank has the flow information to an extent where they know some huge orders are going to be coming through now. Well, maybe the Chinese central bank will be buying right now. All right, Central Bank of China decided this is what we're gonna do. Well, whatever they call it over there, Politburo bullshit, bank of people, you know. But if they want to buy, let's say, I don't know, a metric ton of gold, right? And you don't know, I don't know, only the the highest level of officials in China will know. You will start seeing that they're buying something on open market if they want to, for example, or if so you will never know when the flow starts. I mean, you will never know what kind of flow you'll get. Your job is to know when the flows happen. London Open, New York Open, Asian, right? And then you gauge what the flow is for the day, and you jump on that flow. Okay, that's day trading. That's all it is. Okay, all the other bullshit with the 1 minute chart or praying to whatever some forex gods or fucking using this chart or that chart pattern or these candlesticks or point blank whatever technique you use, it's the same shit. You just want to gauge what the fuck is happening and how I can take advantage of the move by either going in the direction of with the crowd, with the move, with the flow rather, not the crowd, with the flow, or do a reversal of the crowd and the flow if you know how to do mean reversion type of trading. Okay, so which also, like I said, but it's a lot harder to piss against the wind. You can piss against the wind, okay, but you're risking to piss all over yourself, right? So same thing here. You can do it, but it's a lot easier to piss with the wind than against the wind, right? So swimming with the flow versus swimming upstream, same thing. Anywho, so overnight, whenever I go to sleep, if I'm in a trade, I usually I tighten the stops, and especially if I'm in a profit, I will take some profit off the table. Profit is profit, baby. Fuck off. All that nonsense about you can't touch the trade because blah 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 blah. Whatever. If in your statistical analysis of all your trading, all your previous trades showed you that you shouldn't touch trades, and you ran at least 100 trades, touching them and then not touching them, meaning taking partials, not taking partials. And if in that analysis it was revealed to you that your type of style of trading is best to be left alone, make it or break it. But it's retarded in my view, because you don't know. Well, first of all, there news happen, right? Make it or break it. What do you mean? And what if news hits the market, right? Federal Reserve, somebody comes out, says something. Shouldn't you use your discretion to adjust to that information, Mark? Because the trade that you put on did not have that information in place. So as information changes, you should too. This is called being flexible. So I like to actively manage my trades whenever whenever I'm going to sleep, and I can no longer. I'm not going to be able to babysit because I can't stay out for 24/7. Obviously, nobody, from Monday through Friday. Then what's the point of you? Then you want to secure some profit. In my system, I secure some profit. I can put a stop, either tighten it up or put it at break even, and then I know I already made money. So come tomorrow, I wake up fresh. There's no headache. I don't wake up and this was, I was in profit, and I wake up to one of these, right? It went up, then London Open stopped me out, and I'm like, fuck. When I was going to sleep, I was in profit. I wake up and the stop loss was hit, right? Why am I gonna? What's it's already hard to live. Trader's life is not easy. It's a lot of stress. So I like to uncomplicate things for myself by taking partial profits, and depending, again, if the price is stalling, and the price was stalling around this level, right? Previous support turn resistance, and then essentially we're getting breakdown, retest, and we might get a continuation unless we close above here. Okay, so right now I'm just gonna leave this trade as is. If we take out my break-even stop loss, then I'm gonna be looking for maybe something like this. And one sec. And the way I'm gonna trade it is to the next fib. Again, same plan. I'm gonna fib this whole. If we're correcting this whole leg up, if this was one complete move already, Let's go on a 4-hour basis, right? So I fibbed this last portion first. We traded this, the bounce, and now I'm gonna fib the whole leg up and essentially do the same thing. Let's do maybe on futures contracts for shits and giggles, because it was already here. As you can see on the futures price feed, it's actually cleaner. 38.2 got respected. 618, this was the bounce from 618, right? But right now, look, this is not looking bearish anymore either, right? So we have to obviously let this candle play out, but this can easily keep on running, right? But if it doesn't run and we have a turnaround and we essentially had a well, looking again, it doesn't have to be exact line, right? It's the zones where previous support resistance. So this was the trading zone, right? I usually draw from the lowest point of the wick to the candle bodies, okay? So there's a reason why candle bodies close to these levels. So sometimes they're important too. So as we can see, we retested. So unless I have a definite close above this, I'm not really looking for sells just yet, personally. All right. So with that said and done, in case we do have a sell-off in gold, and again, I'm talking ad nauseum with gold, but it's applicable to every single chart on this planet. Okay. You can use this on euro. You can use it on S&Ps. You can use it on anything. I'm just using this on. 1 second. Just adjust something. I'm just showing you the anatomy of trade, so you can replicate some of the features or try out something on your own when you spot them. This is what teaching is all about, okay? So, hello Stan, is it true that there's always a trap in Monday's opening and Friday's closing? No, it's not a trap. Monday and Friday, usually professionals stay out, is because Monday establishes the range for the week. And then you either break out to the top side or downside. That's where you have a turnaround Tuesday, usually, right? So usually it's just a range, and then you have a move that, again, not as a rule of thumb, will show you the a notion for the week, so to speak, the theme of the week. Okay, so that's why Monday, chop, chop, chop. You have the execution of order flow from the weekend. People, again on Monday. It's a Monday, right? Just like you love Mondays in your fucking work, trading is no different, right? Mondays are Mondays. Nobody, after the weekend, everybody's still a little sluggish. It takes time to ramp things up. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is when you get ramped up and you make money. And Friday is when you take profits, okay? And that's why also professionals usually they take profit and they try to stay out from trading on Fridays, because half the people are still buying, half the people are still already taking profit who bought it all the way over here, right? I'm just as an example. And then you get a chop fest, and then you're like, fuck it, but that's why you just stay away, because it's a chop fest, because you have people taking profits and people still trying to juice the market. Okay, so that's why pros usually Monday, Friday, as a rule of thumb, they either stay out, they just observe of what happens, and it's important how Friday closes as well. Is it closing on the highs of the week? It's closing on the lows of the week. That will give you a clue what the fuck is going to happen on Sunday open, okay? So again, everything leaves a clue. Your job is to interpret psychology of market traders, whether they're algo traders or human traders or algos programmed by human traders, right? Your job is to interpret this price action and understand where the fuck it's going. So this is just a chart that you need to learn how to look at and give it interpretation, which will enable you to understand where to enter, where to exit, and it will make you money. That's all it is. It's a footprint, right? And they have footprint charts and all that shit. You can granularly dial in, blah 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 blah. I don't need to know that there is. I can look at the candle. I'll know exactly what the fuck is going on within that candle by just staring at it, because I've been doing it for 20 years. By the way the candle is developing and how it's developing, I can tell pretty much what kind of flow is happening within that candle, and I know when it's just intuition already, because I've been doing this for so long. If you like footprint charts, you know, where is the footprint charts here? You know, volume footprint chart. Fuck. I would need to redo the bar colors for it. But anyway, you all seen those funny charts with the volume on them, right? And all that bullshit. It's very useful for futures if you want to do super short-term trading. Fine. I simply just don't need it myself. But if it helps you, it helps you. Again, you should experiment. You should run. You run it for a month or two, 100 plus trades, and then you'll know. Then you'll know. Okay. All right. So what's happening with gold? Let's see. Again, I'm still in this trade. This is why I put it at break even. It looked like it was going to shit. Now it's actually looking the opposite, right? So now I have a winning trade still running, so I don't have to do anything now. But I can come up with contingency plans of what to do next in case this situation doesn't work out. And the next level of fibs, as we were looking here, so I don't have to delete fibs from that chart. 1 second. The next level of fibs is where? Here. Look at it. You know, this is the fib. This is the fucking low. Most likely was if the market wants to go down, it's gonna go like this. It's gonna post a nice reversal candle here, exhaustion, because they stop out people who this was the last swing low, right? So where are the stop losses? At the last swing low. Most people keep those stop losses there. People who are trading it on the higher time frames. Okay, so this was the last bearish candle before bullish run. Okay, so this is where they stop losses, and this is where the stop losses, and this is where the stop. I don't need to see the order book to know that this is where the stop losses are. Okay, you can see the level 2 data and see all that shit on trading futures because it all comes from central exchange, so you can see the order book, but I don't need to look at the order book to know that the jerk-offs are keeping their stop losses there, okay? So if the Mr. Market manipulators want to extract the value out of the move, and then they need to push this, then they're going to take profit, and that profit is going to be visible in them taking, because sometimes they can keep pushing because of macro and news, for example, right? But if there's no news and they just simply push the price down, then you're going to have evidence of them taking profit and this move being exhausted in the form of this motherfucking candle, just like it happened on 1 hour time frame here. Okay, here, this was exhaustion move. It's quite fucking visible. And then it rode up. So same goddamn thing again. Okay. It's just same cycle. You train your eyes to spot your reticular activation system. You know, like for example, whenever you bought let's say a car, it was a certain color. Let's say you bought a red Mercedes. All of a sudden you see that there are red Mercedeses on everywhere, right? You never even looked at, same thing here. Once you start looking for certain patterns, that's what the whole law of attraction is, essentially. You pinpoint your focus on something, and it gives you evidence back. Your brain just finds it in the sea of information that it perceives. How many items in the room are all around you? Can you name every little thing right now? No. You say, when you point your attention to something, you say this is that, right? So same thing here. You train your brain to spot certain patterns, and then you just take advantage of those patterns when they repeat themselves or rhyme. All right. So let's see. So let me just clean this up. Okay. So 1 hour time frame. If I'm gonna, and again, see same candle right here. Right. So all I want to see if price to go down somewhere to either 702 or 786, post a nice reversal candle, take out the candle's high, and ride it up 2 fibs up, you can put your stop loss here. It's going to be a 1 to 1.5 to 2 to 1 trade. If you want to be more conservative, you put your stop below major swing low to protect yourself. So you're going to have a very high win rate, but you might have to sit through, you know, one of these fucking things. But once in a while, it will hit. So it's up to you. Again, where you place your stop losses, you need to take 100 trades, put your stop loss here, put your stop loss here, put your stop loss here, and see which one worked out for the best. All right, now you have statistical relevant information showing you that out of 300 trades, hundreds like this, like that, and like that. The best one was this type of performance. Okay, for me, for the way stop loss is better for my own psyche. It is what it is. You know, some people prefer super tight stop losses, and that's their risk tolerance. That's fine, and they'd rather be stopped out quick, and then re-enter, then re-enter, then re-enter, because they constantly monitor. You know, they sit in front of a monitor for 12 hours, 18 hours a day, and they can spot multiple re-entry points fast, and then just let the winner run. That's fine too. You know, I like to give room to breathe, because there's a lot of noise in the market, which we don't know, we're not aware of. So let the noise take care of itself. But if I'm wrong, I know that if a major level gets taken out, that's already a big sign that I'm wrong, right? So that's my personal preference. How do you figure out what trading time frame fits your personality best? Okay, that's a question from the audience. Your job is to, again, the only way to figure out anything in trading is to try it out and to record every single act of trading that you do. Why am I talking about this stupid fucking journaling and running statistics? Okay, it's not to record how you feel for the day and it was sunshine and I woke up menstruating and whatever. No, nobody gives a shit about your fucking period, okay? It's not about your feelings. It's not about anything but statistics and the record of what's happening, so you can have a long enough record to start spotting patterns within that record, okay? And I promise you, if you have 50 entries on the journal, you're going to see that this is working, this is not working, this might need a little bit of adjustment, and it's going to work, all right? You're going to start spotting these, and over a year of doing this, or 6 months of doing this, you will find a few winning formulas that can repeat themselves, and you can take advantage of that. Now, whether it's on a higher time frame or lower time frame, it depends on your schedule, your ability to focus, your, you know, if you can spend, or it's simply just whatever you find more comfortable doing and yields you the best result, right? So you play around on the 1 minute chart for a month. You see that it's, you know, and then you do the same thing with a 1 hour, 4 hour time frame. And you're like, okay, for me personally, I can trade 3 trades a week and I have less headache than somebody who traded 30 trades a week versus my 3. And they have to actively sit there and monitor and in and out, stress, this, that, bam, bam, you know, I just don't need that. I like to have life. I did my time, so to speak, right? I put in my time in the markets where I was glued to the thing. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't, you know, you just stare and watch and spot opportunities when I was younger. I just don't need it. I don't need to do it anymore. Okay, I'm confident enough with my system of trading to do exactly what I do, spotting high probability opportunities on higher time frames, 1 hour, 4 hour, 15 minute, probably the lowest I go, but very rarely, to be quite honest. So I trade 4 hour, 1 hour. That's it, and it gives me, on gold alone, it'll give me 3-4 trades on gold a week, plus other currencies, plus stocks, and I can, you know, I can trade from 7 a.m. till 11 a.m., 3-4 hours. Then at noon, I go to the gym. And that's it. That's my trading day. And then afternoon is after gym. I come back. I check, obviously, the markets like yesterday. I entered the trade. Sometimes there's nothing to do in the afternoon, so I have my afternoons are free. You know, I do personal shit. I run businesses, obviously, and et cetera, so I can't trade. But from 7 to 10, from 7 to 11 a.m. is my, you know, I trade U.S. session. I mean, U.S. When I was younger, I would trade London session. In fact, London session was easier to trade 20 years ago, 15 years ago, maybe 10 years ago. I would have the opposite problem. I would trade the London session from home, and then I would go to the office and trade U.S. session, and I would lose money. So at some point, the fund manager comes up to me and says, "Listen, why don't you just stay the fuck home, trade the European hours? You're pretty good at London Open. You're not good at the U.S. Open." And that's because, you know, I was a night owl. My brain focuses extremely well at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm zoned in. It's quiet. There's no distractions. The world is asleep. It's you and this. Again, in New York time, London Open is 3 o'clock in the morning. But at my age right now, I don't want to wake up. I still wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. But I don't want to sit in front of a computer 4 hours at 4 o'clock in the morning. I want to sleep. You know, I deserve it already. I paid my dues. So I switched my trading to U.S. session, and it's profitable enough. Not profitable. It is profitable for me not to have to wake up. But, you know, I paid my dues. I had to spend a lot of time killing myself in my younger years. So that's that. So so this is how you discover, you know, you basically trade, you have to try to trade short-term, mid-term, long-term, and see what fits best. But it takes time. And the problem is with most of you, you want that easy answer. Okay, just do this, that, without experimenting. And unfortunately, this is not an exact science. Okay, trading is a science mixed with art. So that's why it's so hard. It's not physics. You know what I mean? It's not even physics. Well, theoretical physics is fucking batshit insane too, but it's not engineering a bridge where you can do mathematical equations and it will work out 100% of the time, all the time. This is not it, okay? So even the best algos in the world have to define risk and of each particular trade, and nobody is right 100% of the time, all the time, okay? So, and that's just the nature of the beast. So anyway, this is how you discover. You need to start looking at this as a long-term thing. Okay, I'm gonna dedicate a year of my life to become wealthy. Okay, I'm gonna lock myself in a room. No girls. Not well. You can do girls, but like no going out constantly. No partying. No half-assing it. You know what I mean? You dedicate your full. It's a 24/7 thing. Yeah, so my second half just got at break even. So I made money on the bounce from my fifth zone, and now, the second half, no harm, no done. No, not. I made money, and Bulls made money, Bears made money, and pigs get slaughtered, as they say, right? So don't be a pig. Don't be a pig. Don't be greedy. Just because it didn't reach my TP, I was smart enough to understand that maybe this was all I'm gonna get, so I exited. Okay, fine. So I made this. Anyway, so you need to start looking at this as let's say, university. When you go to university for 4 years, if just basic shit, right? Forget about doctors, which, if you're going to start comparing high earning jobs, engineering jobs, medical professional jobs, lawyers, they go to 6+ years. And you can't fucking dedicate a year of your life sitting and learning this stop thinking about it that within this year I'm going to make money. Forget about making money. This is not about making money for you for the first year. Your first year is only about learning how to have percentage wins on a small account. If it's $1,000, let it be $1,000. If it's 10 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand, whatever. You're not trying to juice 100 grand into 1 million. No, first year, all you have to do is, okay, I want to make 2% a week. All right, that's it. And if you obviously you're not going to make every week 2%, you're going to have losing weeks, blah, blah, and then the averages out. And then when you start seeing that, okay, over this year I made this much, or this system made this much, blah, you start adding more volume, more money. You utilize prop firms, funding traders, funding futures, any prop firm. I don't give a shit. That's when you have access to money now, and that's when you start scaling it up. Okay, so that should be the path to your journey, not trying to. One second, let me just take my notes since this trade is done. See, I take a snapshot, copy image. I mark that the trade was a winner, blah, blah. I'll put the notes later, but so I can save the picture. And same thing with this. Again, was I right on the direction of the trend? No, but did it produce the bounce? Yes. So I caught the bounce. I made the money. This was the definition of reverse trading. Even though long-term trade is still up, but as I pointed out, this is now entering the sweet spot zone for a bounce, because when this was happening, when we were here, right? It was the same thing, and then it started falling, and it started falling, and started falling, and instead of people then buying at a major level, right? So this was the previous breakout point, retest, continuation, and then riding this up. I'm catching these small bounces for now until I have a daily trend or a 4-hour trend majorly reverse. Okay, so this is just for now at least a pullback into some interesting zones that I can catch those bounces intraday. I still make money, okay, in the corrective price action. When it trends, it's a lot easier. You leave it the fuck alone, and it keeps on running. All right, let me take a snapshot. 1 sec. See again, and even to this day, I take copious. Every single trade I take, I have 2 screenshots. I have notes and results of the trade, why I entered, what I was expecting, how it played out, why it was closed early or not early, break even, half off and break even, or just break even, blah 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 blah, and before and after. And without even looking at the notes, I can see that okay, it was a bounce, 618 bounce. It didn't. It started petering out, and then it rolled over. Okay, so I went to sleep. I took some off, took half off, break even. Okay, fine, it worked out. Yada yada yada. And you can see it by the picture, looking at the picture, before and what you were expecting. Did the market match your expectation? And at a certain point, you'll be surprised. The markets will start showing you that yes, this thing works. And when you start seeing that your expectations, your first picture that you take prior, when you enter the trade rather, and then the completion of the trade, when they start matching enough times, that's when you get the fucking system that you need to, that's the pattern that you need to start trading more of and make micro adjustments to tune it up, okay? That's it. And that takes about a year. And most people don't want to hear that it takes about a year, even though, again, everybody wants, okay, I'm gonna give this 2 weeks, then I ride on Lambo, then I post it on Instagram, and I have the biggest dick in the world, and fucking all my friends will be jealous. Yeah, that's a good plan, man. Yeah, okay, retards. That's not how it works, okay? If it would be that easy, then you would have Lambo, Instagram idiots. That would be the whole society. We're already living in idiocracy, but that's besides the point. All right, but you get the point, right? If it would be that fucking easy, and the doctors, don't you think doctors don't want to go to school for 10 years? Do you think they cream their fucking pants to, oh yeah, for the next 10 fucking years I'll be studying Latin, bones, and blah blah, and chemistry, and this and that, and all the other gazillion different fucking very complicated things, memorizing them, this, that, do you think that they think that this is just going to be a waltz in a park? No, it's not going to be a walk in a park, right? So same thing here. You need to treat it like you are in, and you want you're studying. The first year is you studying, and all you need to do is start spotting these patterns by looking at your journal, by your statistics, called back testing. Well, you can back test or whatever, or front testing in this case, right? Live testing actually. Back testing is, you can do it as well, but nothing like just giving it time and let it play out in real life, because everybody's a goddamn genius hindsight, okay? But will you take a buy on gold, right, when it's collapsing like this? Do you think that it feels good in my belly? You know, do you think that this is easy? No, it's not. You see that the market is collapsing. What is your brain saying? No, 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 don't do this. No, this is gonna hurt. You know, that's what your brain is telling you, and you're like, you know, the only reason why I can enter this trade is because I took thousands, tens of thousands of these. No, no, and then I act despite the lizard brain signaling me some erroneous information, because there is no saber-toothed tiger that are gonna eat me alive. Okay, but we're still operating in that brain. Okay, don't go out of the cave at night because the tiger is gonna eat you. That's the same fear, irrational fear. It's not. It was rational back then. It's irrational now. That is telling me, no, 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 this can keep on running, keep on running. Okay, fine. So how do I calm it down? First of all, you calm yourself down first. You take walks, you go to the gym, you do your mental state has to be healthy, okay? And then you see evidence that, okay, fine, this is slowing down into the zone that I said that when the price was here, right, at 9, that this is going to be my zone of interest. When the price gets here, if I see evidence that it's turning around, I'm going to go long. And I've experimented tens of thousands of times taking this shit to know that even if my brain says, no, no, just proceed regardless, okay? And that's what, like, this is what's called being fearless. Do you think that there is a soldier that, during war, they are in a trench. Do you think they want to get out of that trench and start running at enemy when there is a fucking machine gun going, nah, 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 mowing all their friends? Do you think they feel fantastic? Do you think that they feel like, oh yeah, I have no fear? Of course they're shitting their pants. But they proceed despite, okay? Because they've done it for the last year, 2 years, and they lived. So fuck, and a lot of people don't live, and a lot of people will perish in trading as well, right? But you proceed despite that fear. And again, war is an extreme example. Obviously, it's not a very good situation here. However, you're not gonna die if you risk manage correctly. So you can proceed. It's never gonna feel fucking amazing trading. Obviously, when you win and you're right, and all, obviously your ego gets. Again, that's another subject matter that you need to keep your ego in check, because being in a highly emotional state, we all got not lucky. We all had that period where things were working out, and then when you get cocky, and market slaps the shit out of you, and puts you back down exactly. Shows you your place. Let's put it that way, right? We've all been there, being cocky, right? So yeah, it doesn't feel good, but because I ran statistical analysis on this for years, I know that I can proceed despite my not initial reaction, but my fear centers of my brain just signaling, oh no, don't do this, don't do it. No. And that's why it's so hard to become a profitable trader, because you have to proceed despite your brain telling you no. And most people will shit their pants and they do the opposite or whatever. That's why they lose money, because you have to do shit that goes against what most people will do, okay, within themselves. That's how hard it is. That's why it's so hard. It's not about, I can show you fibs, somebody's going to show you moving average, somebody's going to show you ICT stuff, whatever, smart money concepts, whatever. There's gazillion different things that can make money in the market. But you will never, the system will not solve your problems until you learn the psychology of proceeding despite feeling certain feelings. And nobody fucking talks about this. Nobody. I'm telling you, after 20 years, this is what it is. You know, everybody, I'm going to show you a system, then you fucking jerking off. No, it's not about a system. System is irrelevant. Really, literally irrelevant. There are people here in the markets that trade the most boring, fucking ugliest head and shoulders and triangle breakout, classical TA, technical analysis, garbage. Not garbage, and it works for them. Because again, it's not about the system. There are gazillion different systems, and all of them will make money if you know how to utilize the system, number one. But more importantly, when you're gonna learn about how to handle your own psychology, and that takes time. Because imagine the first time you're in the market, you know, the first time you're at a racetrack, you're like, oh fuck, what the fuck is going on, right? You need to do it 20, 50 times. Then you're going to be a little more secure about doing stuff, right? With anything. So why do you think you're going to be, you know, you don't know how to drive, I'm going to hand you keys to Formula One, say, hey, you know, go win me some Grand Prix, whatever. Formula One, you know, race in Miami. Yeah, come on, do it, right? No, you won't do it. You know, you're going to crash and die, most likely. Most likely you're not even going to get out of the garage because you don't know how to warm up the fucking tires properly, right? Those slicks. Anyway. All right. So, again, point is you will need to identify those. You need to start paying attention to what the fuck is going on in your head. That voice in your head. That tells you to do one thing or do the other thing, and you need to learn how to proceed when what's a clear intuition and it's proper, or most likely than not, you need to learn how to proceed despite the fact that your irrational fears are stopping you from doing something. Okay, and that's how you get rid of paralysis, analysis by paralysis, or paralysis from trading, or being scared of trading. You're still gonna be scared. It didn't feel good yesterday when, you know, I was at the gym, but I don't know if it's gonna work out or not. So your brain doesn't like uncertainty. Uncertainty meant death. Back in the caveman days, when our brains were developing, evolving, blah 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 blah, right, throughout the history and the evolution. So it's still there, but you need to know how to turn that shit off in order for you to become successful in trading. And that's the hardest thing about trading. That is the hardest thing about trading. And the only way you can do that is to have statistical backup of that this shit works. That takes years. That takes a lot of tenacity to keep a record of every single trade and go through them and study what was wrong, what was not wrong, how many, and then you start noticing patterns. And that's how you become profitable over the years. So stop fucking, you know, trying to become rich in a month. You won't be. Okay? Not here. Not even selling drugs. Not even, you know, doing anything. You know, there are statistical anomalies. Okay? And there's somebody bought $1,000 worth of some shit coin, and now they're, you know, have $1 million. Fine. That's one dude or 5 dudes or 10 dudes out of 100 million who lost money that you don't know about, okay? That fucking jumped out the window because that was their last $1,000, all right? And their girlfriends broke up with them, or blah, 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 all the shit that... You don't see those people. You only see those 2 motherfuckers now flexing on Instagram, and you're like, oh, yeah, this is a high probability way of making money. Let me just do the same. No. All right? So stop copying dumb shit, making money long term, and consistently making money. Not get fucking lucky, but consistently to make money so you can live a life of privilege. Takes effort to achieve. Takes work. So if you have poor work ethic and you can't even take a fucking note of a picture, right, like you click right here. I'm gonna just show you. You copy the fucking image, you put it in your notes app or your XLS spreadsheet, whatever the fuck you use. Don't make it as easy as humanly possible for you to record it, okay? And then you analyze it every week, at the end of the week, Sunday or Saturday or whatever, or Friday night, whatever the fuck you want to do. And the same thing at the end of each month, you have notes saying, okay, these are the 10 things that I've spotted over the month that, you know, that stood out. Okay, don't take this trade, do this more trade. This kind of looked, you know, break even-ish. What can I do to adjust it? Maybe I could adjust some risk parameters to it, or entry exit techniques a little bit to make it more profitable, okay, or from break even to profitable. And that's it. That takes a while to do. And I know this is not what you want to hear, and most people switch this off and they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go listen to some dude who's gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna make $3 quadrillion in next week. Yeah, here's $20. And all they do is just have enough fools like you who pay them $20, $100, $1,000. And you know, if you sell a course for $1,000 and you have 1,000 idiots, that's $1 million, okay? Really. So this is how they buy the Lambo. They find 1,000 morons out of 7 billion people that pay them $1,000, all right? And that's that. Don't be a fucking moron. Forget about, and that's why it's again, it's hard, and it's even harder if you don't fucking have discipline and you don't have routine. That's why I'm saying, like, you should treat it as being in a fucking library. I know nobody goes to a library. I don't even remember last time I've been. You know, only bums go to masturbate in fucking in the libraries now. You know, whatever. But it's like being in a library. The only thing you can do is just read the book. You know, you can't talk. You can't do this. You know, you just, back in the day, right? This is a place where you just do this, and this is how your life should be for the next year. Forget about partying. Forget about your loser fucking friends doing clubbing, killing their brain cells. You can do clubbing afterwards when you make your first fucking $100,000 in a month or a year, whatever the fuck, right? You go out, you whatever, you can celebrate. Fine. I'm not saying you shouldn't have fun, but delayed gratification for the first year. You do nothing but this 24/7 plus things that take care of your body, right? You can obviously have girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever. That's fine. But don't fall trap to being a party animal and then I'm going to do this, because you're going to be half-assing everything. You cannot half-ass this. You need to stay focused as a fucking laser beam in order for you to develop the system, and then you can enjoy your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, 70s, whatever. But it requires sacrifice. And nobody wants to do the sacrifice. Everybody's lazy. I want to lay in bed on my phone and just do this, man. You know? Well, what can I do? What can I say? You know? It's like the fucking OnlyFans girls. Oh, we hear about some bitch, you know, some dumbass, you know, showing her vag. She's making millions of dollars. Yeah, but how many dumb girls are showing their vag and they don't make dick, you know? Tens of thousands. Millions. Right? For that one who started during COVID, and now everybody thinks that this is the way to make money. All right. Anyway, I don't know how we got there. But, all right. Stan, I'm doing negative Fibo. For example, 50, 60, and they're working well. What do you thought about that? Yeah, I have targets. I use them as targets sometimes. So when you have, see, there's a negative Fib right here. Negative Fib right here. You can also obviously negative Fib the pullback, and you get fibs like that as well. Yeah, it's a valid technique. I've been using it. I found that I like this way, my way, better, but I know plenty of people who and they work. They fucking work. You're absolutely right. They work. It just, I don't need another tool in my toolbox anymore, so to speak. This is, I have enough, and I don't need to spread my focus. I find that this pattern repeats itself so many times that I don't need to start switching anything. You know what I mean? Like after 20 years, you're well-oiled machine, and when you start doing tweaks to it, you still do tweaks, you still learn, but if it's working, don't. It took 20 years to build it. Okay, so I don't want to. What works for me, I'm staying with what works for me, and it's making money. All right, so yeah, but if the negative fibs is a fantastic tool, I love it. I know plenty of traders who use it, and I know profitable traders. I had hedge fund guys who use it till this day, make a killing. Okay, so Right, exactly. When you know the right pattern, repeating it over and over, you do not care if the chart is rushing you and will either orient against, because the great pattern will happen and you set up exactly. You, I entered this because even though I'm describing what I felt, what the feeling, I didn't feel it as bad as you would feel because I've done it fucking tens of thousands of times, but the feeling is still there. All I'm describing is, yeah, but you will still, because you see that the pattern is repeatable, you're still gonna just do it because that's logic over emotional, logic over emotion. Okay, in this case, okay, and you have, it's not just you overpower your emotions with logic, which your logic is based on nothing. That's the point. You have to have logical, statistical advantage and backing from your previous back testing or your previous testing of the system. That's why you enter, right? And that takes time. I think I answered all the questions. If anybody will care to repeat, Nick will paste them to me, the ones that we've skipped. Now is the time to repeat your questions if I missed some of them. I can't, yeah, I'm not reading the feed right now because I'm looking at the markets and I'm obviously talking to you guys. But all right, let's see the feed. All right. Anyway, again, see, the viewership start, it peaks and then it drops, and this is why, because when somebody talks about the difficulty of trading, all the weak cunts, they don't have the discipline. They think, oh, okay, I'm gonna go find somebody who's gonna tell me sweet little lies, and I'm gonna fall for them. All right, you want to listen to sweet little lies and be poor? Enjoy yourself. That's exactly how majority of people live, okay? They don't want to put in the work until they get sick and tired of listening to sweet little lies, and they're like, okay, maybe I should roll up my sleeves and do something about it, okay? Because nobody's coming to save you, nobody, but you, okay? So, and life is a great teacher. It'll beat the shit out of you until you fucking either die or you change your ways into becoming successful, okay? Beats you into submission, all right? So some people blow their brains out, some people, that's the God honest truth. Or some people learn how, and they listen and they make adjustments and they make corrections in order for them to be successful. That's it. That's the end of that. Very, very not happy. All right. Anyway, all good. So with this trade right now, let's see. The next level of interest for me, obviously this is done, so I'm gonna remove this. Oops. I'm gonna remove this fib. Well, no, this fib is fine. And again, look where the sell-off occurred from. So we fibbed this whole leg move down. We went to exactly where? 618 to the fucking goddamn T. Okay, so you tell me if this should work in or not. Okay. Okay. All right. So a few things. If we take out this low now here, we can look for sells around this level. This previous order block trading zone. This probably might do a retest, kind of like it did here, right? So same principle. Boom, boom, boom. Retest of this, and boom. So on a 15-minute chart, this is gonna look pretty much the same. So boom, 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 boom. Then we break out this low, stop it out. People will take profit. It will create a pullback. How deep pullback? I don't know. You'll fib this and this, and if you have confluence, wherever you find confluence and good levels, that's when you can be short this market. Okay, that's it. I will post again. I posted when I went long in the Telegram group, and I'll post again if I enter it here. Okay, so this is going to be my next level, somewhere between 618 and 706 of this whole move down. Okay, so Very probable that we'll run the stops on people who are long here, because this is where their stops are, right? So the markets like to pop them and then take profit, and this is so you can look for reversal and buy opportunities here, and then you take profit around this level, and for another leg down. So you can be both bull. That's the flexibility. Okay, you just need to understand how markets move, and you want to catch the up or catch the down, doesn't matter, right? So that's why they say bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. Okay, don't be a pig. All right, it's 10 a.m. I hope this was educational, something different today. Don't be lazy. You need to put in work. This is not easy. Doctors don't become doctors in 3 months. You will not become a successful trader in 3 months either. Okay, long term, you still gonna. It's just so much shit you need to learn and do about yourself, not about trading systems, which also require a lot of time. And it requires a lot of trigger time to be calm under pressure and execute under pressure and perform under pressure. And that's why basketball players or any football players, that's why they practice, right? You think, Kobe Bryant or Messi or whoever, they're the top of the top, or well, Kobe was, right, or whatever, right? You have the top of the top. Why do you think they keep practicing, right? Taking another, because you need to constantly be honing your skill, and even if you're at the top of the game, but it takes time to get to the top, and yeah, you need to understand that and stop. You're not gonna become Messi by hitting, going outside and kicking the ball for three weeks. Okay, not even gonna become him when you'll do it for a year. You might become an okay player in any sport in a year, but you're not gonna be top notch, right? It takes time. It takes years and years, but that's okay, because once it starts working out, little by little, you'll start making money, and then you just kind of start. It becomes more interesting, because now you're making money off of it, and now you can just scale it up more, little by little. You expand your zone of comfort, right, from a small circle to bigger, to handle more and more stress, bigger size, right? That sounds very weird, but you get the point, right? You expand your zone of comfort, and you're able to handle more and more, and it becomes more and more interesting. You're honing your craft, you're becoming better at it, and that's how you fall in love with things too. You might not love it in the beginning, but once you become good at something, you start enjoying it a lot more. Okay, and that's how you fall in love with your craft. All right, and then note, I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you for coming. It was wonderful. Thank you all, Nick and everybody else. Thank you guys for handling this. All right, I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you for your time, and hopefully we'll get some trades in the afternoon or tomorrow morning. All right, cheers.